for all-time jungle kills in the LPL. Bo held it before at 16. 17, 1, and 12 he was. So congratulations to Kaza. A bit of a world breaker, especially since the man has already been a world beater at MSI.
Great to see him have, good performances again. A player who I'd say very divisive, heavily praised by some, heavily criticized by others. But coming to draft, we see completely different takes, despite the fact that sides have stayed the same. The Hecarim taken away this time around. First pick coming out for the Xayah. JDG so far seems for a lot of range to play with. Again, kind of kite back, poke out, but V5 wanting to answer that with the Jarvan to be able to close the distance. Once again, give them a bit of an early game jungler to set up and find the tempo to start taking over the map, which has been their bread and butter.
It really has. Again, Cast with a great game, doing that in the last game as well, and really just enveloping the rest of it too. Now, Lyric, JDG did this last time. I was going to ask you a little bit more about this. We've already got the Jace this time though, but we're getting the Aurelia ban. Remember last time was the Malphite ban there too. We saw a very interesting JDG trying to set up 369, but I feel like it backfired.
At least this time around, though. I mean, it makes a lot more sense of you, taking this and then banning out the counter. So they want to ban out the Malphite once again. Again, a champion that just does so well against immobile carries. But for JDG, I feel like they're very incentivized to go towards mobility this time around with Jarvan on the opposite side. So I feel like something like the LeBlanc pick actually does go up in value quite a bit for both sides as V5 a takeaway and sets up for the strong mid-jungle 2v2s. For JDG's a champion that just can't really be locked down by things like the Cataclysm. But JDG not caring about the Malphite, saying no, we care more about the fact of you being able to roam around the map, but they go back towards the Rise.
Yeah, isn't this a change again? Like, V5 just kind of accepted a rookie returning to the Rise that we talked about him not really edging towards at the start of the series. Feels like that draft adaptation, feels like the series adaptation that V5 have made coming into today versus JDG, and we have to see what Viego pulls up against, because Viego has been pretty stable, I'd say, in this series, pulling out things like the Victor quite often.
Yeah, so right now, hovering the Corgi, I actually think this makes sense, because we were just talking about something with mobility, but they also are hoping to outrange the Aphelios, right? So maybe something like LeBlanc can be awkward jumping into champions like Aphelios, like Rise, but this, you play from a distance, you still have the Valkyrie to be able to get out of the Cataclysm. So JDG, tons of scaling set up so far, wanting to play at arm's length, playing over, posturing and testing over mid-wave, making your way into river and forcing them out, and we get a Rek'Sai coming in.
I guess something else early to inhabit the map, right? I'll ask you a little bit about that in a second, because that's a left field turn, right? When we have so much poke, when we don't really have a front line now for JDG, Lyric, as well. For V5, they've only got top side left here. They've got a counter pick, but it could be something safe instead for Rich.
I mean, when you think about things that go into Jace, right? If it's not something like the Aurelia, which has it all in potential, typically it is. Scions, the Gragas's, the Malphites, since it can do well early. We've even seen solo kills coming out in this matchup. I believe it was one of the Weibo series, the Shy. Might have actually even been against JDG, the Shy solo killing 369. But yeah, gonna go towards this for V5. I think decently low damage composition. I think you're gonna have to make a lot happen early because you do have a ton of mobility coming out with your mid-jungle. And for JDG, I think they are heavily indexed into scaling with the Corki. Xayah, definitely more of a mid-game pick with, the lethality build that has come out. But yeah, I'm just curious to see what this Rek'Sai does, because not really fitting, I think, thematically with the rest of the composition.
True.
But also, I mean, you have Tremor Sense even later on. You can try it and find early ways to work around with your top lane matchup and try and win out in some of these 2v2s and setup.
Okay, well, at least, the setup here from Kanavi in the early game is going to be crucial, because pulling out a Rek'Sai in Game 4, when this is elimination, when JDG, if they lose this game, they're out, they're done. They don't get a chance of getting another title here in the LPL, of getting to the top 3. It is kind of a big swing here, especially when V5 feel like in the past 2 games have really taken control, they've taken the reins.
Yeah, it's really weird when you think about it, right? You're on elimination as JDG, and you're putting your eggs in the Rek'Sai and Corki basket when your backs are against the wall.
Which is a comfort for Kanavi, for sure. But again, you brought up thematically with the composition, it doesn't all really line up. So
yeah.
Really curious again, Lyric.
Even thinking about things like the rest of your champions want to go back.
True.
I mean, once Rek'Sai can really only go forward, and once you're in as Rek'Sai, you're just in. There is no getting out.
And no one's coming to help you, right? Unless it's missing, and he's probably sad that he went in as well. So I'm curious here, because you mentioned for V5, them getting around the map early, which is what they've been doing well in the past couple of games, which is what V5 throughout the regular season, we talked about them being adaptable and being a team that can really blow apart the early game. Welcome to Summoner's Rift, and welcome to Match Point here for Victory 5. The first seed of the LPL, who were tested in the upper bracket by top eSports, got reverse swept. Now here in a dangerous position, but at least they've got a couple of games to play with. And Lyric, where do you want to start in this one? Because again, the Rek'Sai was a big talking point for JDG, but for B5, again, we've got to guess a different direction.
The Rek'Sai you should do well, at least in the Jarvan matchup specifically early on, and be able to, take those trades, take those duels. Interestingly, talking about the Jarvan, Karsa not going with the first strike, which we've been seeing, really come out in spades. I was talking about this with Ox the other day, and that, like, there's no really obvious keystone in my mind that fits Jarvan, especially now thinking things like Gore Drinker, Sterex not really being the go-to flavor of the month, getting that more damage, getting that, heal, max stack survivability. So typically that has been the go-to, get a bit more gold, get a bit more kind of burst damage in there, kind of taking the place of Electrocute, even just the inspiration tree overall being valuable. But Karsa gonna keep it simple, go back to the old ways. And for JDG, I'm just very curious. I'm very curious to see what this Rek'Sai does. I've already hit on I expected play out a lot around that top side with the Gragas. I think 6 can be quite rough if you look to try to look for dives, but very early on, you should be able to come out ahead, set up for some of those ganks, and maybe get 3, 6, 9 going. Because Viego and Hope, they're just going to be chilling, especially the Corki. We don't expect much.
We always know how JDG want to play their game, right? 369 was talked about at the start of the day as a big focal point for JDG, and 369 has been a really big member in this series alone. The Cannon game last game was a huge turning point. Rookie Realm warped them in towards him as, let's pause for a second, bottom lane is some very serious trading, more so than we see normally in the 2v2. VODS trying to push for level 2 as well, and JDG paying respect. And I can come back to that lyric because I just think last game was hilarious where 369 was the only member it felt like it came down to for JDG to try and win out the game.
And there's like 20 MR items on the opposite team where you don't even get to play, you don't even get to do damage. So a bit unfortunate for him where it felt like he really did have a good game. This time around has the potential to be different again.
True.
If this game goes a distance, JDG having the tools to keep them at arm's length.
They hit level 2. Good Zenith played. Ignite down as well. Hope has to flash away. Missing now caught out in the lane as well. He doesn't burn any summons, but he backs away. Hope Lyric, he's level 1. He's got no flash. He's got no cleanse.
Oh my god, and Karsa is here as well.
He's just gone. Over a ward, he won't be spotted out.
They don't know. So Karsa, if JDG overstay, they will be punished. So at the very least, being kind of zoned off the wave. Luckily for Hope, it's a cannon wave, so nothing really going down. Gives Kanavi time to come in shadow, allow him to pick up the wave. You don't lose out on any gold or any experience.
But at the very least, close to a turret plate here for V5. So while the trade is not going to be as much as it could have been, Lyric, the turret plate is going to be a lot of gold here once it's taken through. Kanavi with the Tremor Sense as well, just in case Cast is coming through. Cancels back once, but turret plating still goes over, and it's a really grand start for the V5 bottom lane that were praised in last game, and again, have been praised in the series too.
I mean, V5's bot lane just overall being stellar, and they were a bot lane that I think did improve as the split went on. I think early on, I just thought of them as more of like a team fight, clean-up bottom lane. Like, PP God looking to roam more like back in his 2020 summer V5 days when he was working with Weiwei and Mole. But as the split's gone on, I feel like they've actually found a lot of strong 2v2s. We've seen 2v2 kills come out from them very frequently, and, them looking for more aggression. Phreak even stepping up and, like, carrying team fights like we saw in the top esports series, not playing that cleanup role, the aggressive Gale forces. So, nice to see the spot lane work so well together when this is Phreak's redemption arc. Like, really V5 is where he's coming back after heavy criticism on that top esports team.
And isn't it sad because it feels like that's the same story with Hope. We were talking about it before, being replaced with people like Viper in the past as well. Even iBoy, he was sitting behind and never really got a chance to step up. So Hope kind of in a similar boat, and that's why these Eddie carries are so fun to talk about. Again, Hope in the last game was getting there with the Jinx, but was just a non-factor when Phreak was massive on the Misfortune. Now, we're going to bring you closer into this game because it is still interesting to see where it goes, considering we have a Rek'Sai on the Rift, and Karsa has just been so proactive in these lanes. Through mid, trying to spot out Kanavi. He's now backed off, but Kanavi is trying to be proactive himself up in this top side.
He's looking for it, but Rich been channeling his recall. Should be good to get back home.
Yep.
Does have the TP to be able to come in. Would be a bit risky, but looks like 369 is going to keep going with his back. Not much of a wave now anyway after the turret hitting it for quite a bit. And you can see now where teams are looking, right? Karsa hovering so heavily around mid lane. Rookie at a point now where he's going to be able to pretty consistently keep this push in.
True. And
then probably try to make your way up towards the top side and punish 369 once again.
I mean, again, getting up towards that top side will be an interesting watch because remember that reason we haven't seen Corki Lyric, it's been a while. 10 minutes here on the package, not syncing up as much, not syncing up with Dragons either. Rookie will have that Realm Warp. That'll be coming up very shortly. He's close to getting level 6, and you did talk about how V5 want to influence this early map, what they want to do, which is the stock and standard. Get things rolling alongside this Jarvan.
And we already see Karsa going for some counter jungling with the fact that he's push in mid. Rookie now having Realm Warp available, both hovering down towards the spot side. Kanavi's going to be spotted out, so maybe look for the aggressive play if you can find something onto Kanavi. He backs off, worst case, you just make your way back up towards that top side of the rift.
I mean, it's nice roaming, though, whether it happens to turn into a play or not, because just look at the pressure that Bot's under. Hope is 20 CS down for the time being. There's a massive wave in front of the turret, so he should be catching most of it, but still, Phreak and PP in a great position here. 49 to 34 CS, so a 15 CS lead. And now that Phreak's back off as well, with the turret plating he was able to pick up, he's got a Noon Quiver, he's got a dagger, he's got quite a lot. That's Realm Warp to the top side. Hang on a minute, I thought V5 was focusing on the bot side, but now it's about top as Rich wants to make it a dive. The body side, the flush in! Clean stuff as Victory 5 secured first blood in Game 4.
Even the setup, just seeing like how V5 use their tempo, right? Hover around mid, push in mid, start roaming towards spot. It now pulls Viego towards spot, allows Rookie to walk back mid first. You once again have push, and you know Kanavi's bot side, so you can go for that Realm Warp play top. So I think Rookie and V5 kind of managing that play really well in terms of just juggling their pressure between both sides of the map.
Yeah. Rich
having the wave already set up to be able to go for this play, goes in here, damage comes out. Rookie being the one to tank it up is able to proc, actually didn't even proc Phase Rush. I don't know if he maybe swapped to Ghost or some other spell, but still having the Ignite available, was just able to get away.
Yeah, it was clean, right? But the main thing is, top side gets a kill. V5's top lane gets a kill. Bottom side is in a lead as well, Lyric here. And Rookie's first ulti does so much. Dragon as well taken. This early game looking quite smooth sailing so far for V5.
I mean, V5, the past 2 games, right, have been the one to find early advantages and consistently transition those through the mid game. Surprisingly, we haven't really seen a lot come out from Kanavi when he has picked this Rek'Sai right now, sitting on triple longsword. But Karsa just pivoting back and forth between mid, bot, top, constantly looking for these plays. Has a bit of the wave set up with it pushing in. Kanavi, level 6, has a Tremor Sense available as well.
He can follow through with this. The ulti available. PP God not going to be the one knocked up. It's Phreak in the backside. PP God running away. Solar Flare locks down Kanavi. Can't ult! Lyric, the queen, can't escape her castle. And V5 deny this Rek'Sai pick.
And this is what we were hitting on with Rek'Sai, right? Once you're in, you are just in. The fact that Karsa hitting level 6 so clutch, able to find that kill, and now Phreak having the Calibrum can look for a bit more aggression to poke out missing.
So confident. I mean, he's so confident amongst 2 people, even under the turret. PP God's backed away, but he doesn't care with his ulti available. So V5, a 1k gold lead. It's sad to see because Kanavi, you could see, was doing so much damage.
Now we're going to see here how it starts off, missing 1 to go and hits level 6 first. You have ulti advantages on their side. Everything, though, focused on to the Leona. Opens up for Karsa to come in, who hits level 6 off the minion wave going down, and Kanavi getting punished for the Leona. Again, everything just being focused on the PP God.
Yep. PP God is one who doesn't care about taking up damage, though, does he? He's been the greatest Leona I've seen in quite a while in this series. The last couple of games as well. Now we're on to Herald. I'm going to stop blabbering, Lyric, because JDG want to start a fight. Maybe I start blabbering, because on to Kanavi again. The ulti, the explosive cast, Rich. That was gorgeous. PP God again taking the damage, but this time he dies down. Yagao's joined on in as he comes over the wall. Still wants to poke him out, but he doesn't have much mana. As 369 joins the fray. V5 actually back away for now, and JDG have done their damage with the poke that they needed to do.
Yeah, with Rookie, being so low and having to blow his flash, feels like for V5 you can't overcommit to the play. So JDG utilizing their long-range tools quite well to be able to secure themselves this objective. No ultimate up on Karsa either feels pretty big, right? That's a huge playmaking tool that would have been able to influence the fight, especially when we're talking about range advantage for JDG. Karsa and PP God are going to be the pivotal members to make sure they close that distance, kind of get that close range melee fight club tussle that they want, and be able to come out ahead. Which, interestingly enough, Karsa also just going to go towards the Gore Drinker. We've been seeing a lot of Chemtank Jarvan coming out recently, but Karsa still just wanting to go for the Bruiser build, opt into a little bit more damage, a little bit more sustain. But for V5, I kind of would have loved to see what we saw last game just with armor. Just heavily indexed into armor because you have mostly AD on the opposite side. And a ton of lethality as well.
One, but look in the top side, we're getting a bit of a play in front of us. There's the Flag and Drag, Cataclysm down as well. Rich has a barrel that's about to come out. The Comet seals the deal. 2-0-1 on this Gragas. Lyric, game 4 is looking a bit unsteady for JDG.
Yeah, JDG giving a lot of windows. And I mean, Jarvan just the perfect champion at punishing these opportunities, and Karsa's been extremely patient in setting up and waiting for these to be able to come through, giving up instances to farm and look for them, to where, again, Kanavi on the opposite side, we talked about, really hasn't. So now we're going to be looking at JJG, where they want to opt to use this Rift Herald. Opening up a side for Jace, like, always a good play. That'd be completely fine. If you want to look mid, the fact that V5 don't have a ton of wave clear, I think is always the go-to, and I feel like it's the logic most LPL teams follow. You'll typically just see, like, jungle, hover towards side, get prio, group up towards mid, drop Herald, and then look to start influencing the map that way. So Kanavi, now with the Prowler's Claws, our eyes are on you, my dude.
Yeah, that's right. Needs to make something happen here. Again, you did talk about how this game can evolve, but with V5, with the early lead we see, with the map that they have under their wing, with rookies ult up and available, I'm starting to get scared, especially with the minute coming towards Dragon. They've already got the first one here, and Vision is getting a bit deeper, trying to track Kanavi further, and no lane is in a really great position, Lyric. Even this top side, I mean, Rich has 2 kills. He's even with CS. Mid's even, bot's in a lead. Every lane is fine right now.
Oh, that was actually pretty clean.
That was slick. Yeah. Right into the barrel. Wait, Rich flashing forward. Oh my god. That was a smooth play from a fat man.
It was like so slow as well. Throw the barrel out. Like 369 like, what's going on? Throws out the explosive caskets, popped into it. Not expecting Rich, I guess, to have the follow-up damage to be able to take it down. Remember though, Rich is going towards AP, right? Making his way towards that Everfrost. He was able to do it. 369. He just didn't expect the damage to come through because he still had his flash. He could have made it out of there.
0-3 and 0 versus a 3-0-1 Grogstead, Lyric. As I was saying, no lane's going well. Especially that top side. Rich is doing so damn well. Again, 369, even the isolated 1v1s. Up for V5, stuff going well. Dragon's going to be started here, though, by JDG.
I mean, you know, I wouldn't like them to look for this. We see Yagao does have the package available, so just back off. You've already got your play on the top side of the map. You're already kind of accelerating in terms of the gold trade. They're going to get an early Dragon, but you already had the first one, so ultimately I think V5 make the right call. And we're going to see this again, because again, this was so visually pleasing to watch.
True.
We've seen earlier trade coming out for him. And then here's maybe where 369 just not expecting damage to follow through. Cass comes out, he runs forward, set up perfectly by Rich to be able to get the damage. And 369 still just not expecting the all-in. E-Flash comes through, another barrel down, and more fights!
And more fights on the bottom side. First one to go down is Votic as V5, blinking on the health bar status as Yagao has jumped in. A good shield of Daybreak, but Rookie's on the backside. Now the damage begins as Golden was peak God, but still dies down. JDG hoping this is their fight, but Missing's getting chunked here by a Jarvan with a hell of a lot of damage himself. Rookie running away, already picking up a double kill. The feathers don't fly. Hope runs back, and V5 still manage to shed 3 members worth of blood.
We didn't exactly see how that one started, but I love that once we came out of the replay, V5 committing onto Yagao.
Are we doing it again? Are we doing it again? Flash body slam, you're not getting away. Rich solo kill after solo kill, making short work at 369.
Man, it's so depressing. 369 had such a phenomenal last game. This time, Rich is having his way with him.
Okay, we're going to Void Seeker. The Queen unburrows and rushes for his death, but it's still a trade.
I think the mental damage you have now done to 369 outweighs any kill you get back as Kanavi, right? 0-4-0 on the Jace. I mean, you're just put so far behind. Rich going to continuously have kill pressure, as we've now seen. With the item advantages, he started to stack up Everfrost, already Kindle Gem in pocket. And, I mean, 4v5, with the fact that you still have this Jarvan, you still do have the setup. You can even just leave Rich on his island. Like, sure, the kill setup is there if you ever want to bring Karsa top, but with how self-sufficient he is on the Gragas, you can just play more to enabling your bot side.
I mean, Hot's Faker hits different, dude. Rich back-to-back solo kills. And that top side was slick. I mean, every single time, we're just in awe.
And let's remember, despite the fact that V5 lost to top eSports, 4 games, Rich was making Wayward's life hell.
True.
It was only in that final game where Wayward came back on the Malphite against Kennen and started finding his own solo kills and really coming back. But 4 games in a row, Rich was dismantling Wayward. And now once again in this game with 369.
4-1-1. It's a game for V5. Holistically, V5 are 2,000 gold up. They've got a Dragon apiece that JDG is sharing, but it looks really rough at this point. Look at this Lyric, Rookie in a side lane. And right now, JDG not really finding a response. And Akasa's decided it's time for him to go deep.
Yep, using the Hex Gates to go in, look to steal away the blue. We look at the minimap, 369 actually is in the area. He needs to be careful as a rookie, just going to be able to guarantee this top lane turret himself. Like the lane allocation to putting someone top who can get this. Rich able to just clear minions in mid quite easily. And V5 once again just kind of extending this lead.
Prowler's Claw on top of this one. He's taken a turret shot. Rich is defending 1v2 and he's got a flash available, so I would probably back away.
I mean, Rich is doing so much damage right in the face of 3 members. That's why, in my mind, Gragas' identity has always been a bit of a neutralizer because, I mean, you have disengage tools with your ult. You have the belly bop to either be able to get away or stop an engage from coming in. You have your Q, which is range. You can farm, you know, out of harm's way. You just do so much to dissuade. Is having a bit of ring around the rosy. As Hope and Missing are on their way.
And there's a teleport and there's a flag and drag at the ready. Missing is by himself, though. As he goes golden to buy time, maybe it's okay here for JDG. They've got the numbers advantage, and Caster's down, but so is Kanavi here. The Realm Warp being used. They're in, they're out. Immediately out. It's a 1-for-1 trade. V5 are bringing back up, but both junglers to the wayside.
Yeah, I mean, JDG committed more resources towards this side of the map first. We saw Carson wanting to hover around with Rookie. You're kind of, again, allowing him to push out sideways, fishing for picks as someone walks forward. Now, JDG still wanting to contest. The fact that they have 4 members, but no jungler on either side.
Control Ward spots out Rich here, and he's just playing zone control. JDG now moving to this choke instead as Everfrost. Again, more zoning. PP God doing the same, but Herald's going to go on down. It's V5 to secure. Rich survives here, even with the poke, and that's got to be something of a win here, despite the trade back and forth.
Yeah, and I mean, Gold's still been about the same for the past 5 or so minutes of the game, right?
True.
V5 just over a 2K gold lead now. Dragon coming up in 20 seconds. Rookie does have teleport to be able to get down to the side of the map if they want to look for a contest. They have the Rift Herald if they want to look to pull focus. But with Rich still coming out of base, JDG will be the team with control.
Well, we're going to get out of a replay before we see the next fight, though. Let's look again because V5 are opting in for the play.
Yeah, we see them coming in again. They just have more members on the side of the map first. So you see Karsa wanting to commit onto Hope. Kind of just runs it, does give his life over. The other members of V5 are making their way over. But nice by them to make it into the realm where we get away.
Look at the bottom left. I mean, Hot's Faker again, dude. 3rd time. This time he had a bit of help from Karsa coming down for the end of it. But this Gragas is playing like a Jace himself.
Yeah, Rich knowing his limits on the champion to be able to punish 369. 369's flash sadly wasn't up. Looks like just about to be up to be able to escape some of these dangerous plays. But up against the Gragas, up against a Jarvan, feels quite hard to be able to get away. And now for Victory 5, going to be a very easy pivot into a Dragon. JDG, you would expect to just opt away from this. I mean, look where Viego is on the minimap. Just make a play towards top. Crash that wave in the turret, deny some minions, get some more damage down, and look to fight another day.
And just look to get to the point of the game where you become more relevant, right, Lyric? We had a bit of a chat about what these comps angle to do, the poke, the range, even the scaling that comes through, right? Worth mentioning here that JDG haven't had the most optional environment. Almost, what's the other word for optional? The best environment.
I was going to say,
something like that.
I don't think you were looking for a synonym for optional in that sentence.
They haven't had many options, I should say. Now, this is happening again. Wait, that's another body slam. Rich is taking no damage. 369 jumps back in. Here's Karsa, baby. Cataclysm down. He's burning, and Karsa knew would finish him off. This is not the game to be a 369 fan. He is getting his pants dropped, Lyric. It's schoolyard bullying. Yeah,
I mean, he's just not even getting a chance to play the game. And with every kill, right, V5 cementing their lead further, cementing the fact that they're taking more side lane turrets. They're able to get deeper vision in the enemy jungle and keep looking for these picks, because at the end of the day, that's what V5's composition is, right? You have a tempo mid laner that has a semi-global to be able to move. You have the Jarvan. You're looking to isolate members, lock them down, and start moving into team fights as, you know, a 4 or 5 man unit with numbers advantage, and V5 have been executing perfectly.
Again, this has been V5's story since game number 2. Elimination match, and JDG are crumbling. V5 are on the door of getting into top 3, our number 1 seeded team. In the lower bracket here, it's gotten a little bit tough, but JDG definitely haven't had much to say after game number 1. As Carson spotted out here, but not much JDG can do to catch him out. And Lyric, at this point, look at what's going on the top side. 369 going to get TP'd on by Rich. He's here to play once again. Another Everfrost user as Rookie is not taking damage either. The whole of JDG's army are trying, but Kanavi going down. V5 have congregated in this area, and now it's missing. 369. Everything going wrong for our 2020 Spring Kings.
Yeah, I feel like the pace of the game is just going too quickly for JDG's composition. The Corki, the Xayah needing a bit more time, especially the Corki Yagao, kind of waiting behind the fight, just has to get out. And now V5 turning this into a Baron.
And now V5 making us think this is where the road ends for JDG, and this is where maybe V5's story continues. JDG have a package on Yagao. He's going to burn it on PP God, on Rookie. But this man can't do too much. And look at Rich, dude. What a Chad. 7-1-4. I'm ready to talk more about Rich.
Look, if I'm anyone on JDG, if Rich is on your screen, if he is in your field division, you get the hell out of there. This man, solo killing left and right. He is huge at this point. And now with the Baron, I mean, you just have so many options, right? 4v5. You've already taken down all tier 1 turrets. You can start very easily making your way, having Rookie push out a side. Doesn't have Realm Warp, but will have TP up, having the other 4 kind of play as this aggressive unit, juggling between mid and a side lane, already having bot lane pushed out, and breaking down some of these turrets.
Lyric, it's sad that we probably not going to a game 3 here. Game 5, I
Look,
should say.
the other guys got game 5s.
We
don't get game 5s.
Yeah, but you know, we're cursed. Because every single match of our top 4 so far has gone to a game 5. Even JDG in the previous round did the same. Now, we're going to talk about this replay because Rookie survived for so long against an army.
He did, and you even look at the minimap, a lot of members of JDG making their way here first, but right there goes Golden at a critical time to let Rich come in, hits a cast kind of separating the members of JDG, and I mean just Kanavi not having the damage, missing being forced away, and no other damage to be brought in, but...
I think the series is ending. I think the series is ending. Double knock up here. Victory 5, sick of us talking about JDG. Another kill, another kill, another kill, another kill, another kill! Blood rains from the sky when you're Victory 5. The first seeded team heard you talking smack that they weren't making it into the top 3, and now here we go.
And this was the game, this was the elimination game. JDG lean on Corki, they lean on the Rek'Sai champions that really aren't meta champions we don't really see played, and they're getting absolutely smacked.
Destroyed, beaten, bullied. The game might not be over now. The series might not end right here, but even the disrespect back shows you how done it is. JDG on death's door. Bob Dylan called. They want their song back.
4v5. Gonna get the resets off. Gonna start heading towards the Dragon. I mean, this game, you know, we've had some like huge gold leads, right? I think we had 12K at one point in one of them. But this 11K gold lead at 23 minutes feels like the most stun we've had out of any game in this series. I mean, Randuin's now built on Rich. I mean, GA might be down, but Karsa having an extra stopwatch available. Frozen Heart on Rookie. I mean, it just feels like they have so many defensive tools that once again, JDG are in the same position as last game. That there's just really no one who's able to deal any damage to maybe anyone other than Photic.
That's right. And I mean, Kanavi decided to pick him for the Rek'Sai for this final game as well. Hasn't done too much in the early game, Lyric. And now it's getting to the point where it can't get through a single member. V5 with the dive, a triple cataclysm, everything going right. Caster absorbing, Rich jumping in. Hot's Faker may die, but the rest of V5 survive. Still Caster goes forward. The better jungler in this series. The better team. Now in the base, they've broken my voice. A day before RNG top esports, but it matters not. V5 deserve the praise here. The #1 seeded team, Lyric. It's Nexus time.
Yeah, V5 gonna push through for the end. Yagao and missing.
All right, one Nexus start dropping down. Yagao trying to keep it all alive for JDG. It's their turn to get eliminated. They tried to return to 2020 spring form, but V5 wouldn't let them. The #1 seeded team was down, but not out. They'll move to the lower bracket finals and wait for RNG top esports to try and return or start their journey to the grand finals.
And I bet anyone who didn't believe in V5 feeling like clowns right now.
True.
I can confirm.
You.
I'm feeling like a clown right now is V5. I mean, they showed more than what we've seen. Again, they haven't been showing the rise. They're able to bring it out. It looks so good. Having champions that mid and junglers that are able to go and influence the map, just get in the enemy jungle, influence sides. Rich with this crazy Game 4 performance where again, I feel so bad for 369 after the previous game where he was the only member really finding opportunities, and this time he didn't even get to play the game because Rich smacked him.
He got destroyed, and Kanavi on the rec side didn't get to do much either, right? You know, this game was very quiet from JDG.
We questioned what it would do. Like, hey, what does this rec side do with all these poke champions? And the answer was nothing.
And Rich on the Gragas, man, like, easy MVP this game. A tank Gragas that still played like a carry, that destroyed 369 in his own right with the attention he got. And even as we look at V5, you said it in that game, the pace elevated to the point where we couldn't do anything. Yeah. Well, I should say JDG couldn't do anything. V5 just kept going and going and going, and JDG just couldn't stop the flow.
No, I mean, we even got to the point, right, seeing at the end just Rookie being able to run Viego down the whole lane. It's like, what could Viego do? You really can't do anything. You have to accept with how far ahead they are. And again, I feel like another game where it's very easy to itemize. Like, sure, Corgi's going to be going into AP with, like, the Loons and this kind of build, but you have 3 other members who are going lethality. Like you stack some armor, and you're only dealing with 1 member. And guess what? You have a Jarvan. So you can always guarantee you get onto 1 member. Like, sure, he'll have the Valkyrie like we talked about. Maybe his flash in some situations, but you should always be able to get on the only threat that they will have. And, I mean, he didn't even get there. We didn't even get to a point where the Corki was relevant.
That's right. I mean, Corki did not much. Package usage as well, not there. A lot to look at for JDG, because I think for JDG, they were a team that we expected to come into the series with, you know, I guess, like-mindedness of what we learned from the RNG series. But after game number 2, V5 were just on their roll. Yeah. And it's nice to see this adaptation, because there were a lot of concerns with draft, but I think there has also been a lot answered today.
Oh, 100%. I really feel like coming in, showing that they don't just have to worry about this Rise. It's not something they either have to ban, or they always have to pick like Victor or rely on the Orianna, because guess what? Rookie, he's not getting Orianna in playoffs. It's been banned every game against him. He's not going to get to play his best champion by far. So that they needed to be able to show that they're confident on playing it, whether it's him or whether it was team. Looks like they don't need to play the Xayah, as they're still not showing it, but the fact that they're able to have these different looks with things like the Misfortune, which they've been the most comfortable team to pull out, is still a pretty good sign for V5.
I mean, the draft ocean from V5 is a real good explanation of how good this team is. You know, Rookie's pick ban has been like 14, 15 champions long. We saw the rise in both Game 3 and Game 4, and it did so much work, but man, I feel sorry for 369. I feel real sorry for 369 in that game, and that Rich destroyed him. If anyone knows why Rich should not be claimed as the best top laner in the league, please speak now, because a lot of criticism towards this guy coming through after his time in Nongshim, after his time in the LCK.
I mean, even after like that one game 5 in their last series, you know, I think sometimes maybe us overall too quick to judge. One bad game, one bad series, one bad split, anything can happen. Comes in with a team that, again, clearly gels much better, works much better than, I'd say, a team any of these guys were on last split, and it looks really good. We're going to get to see now, again, how they fare, either once again up against top esports or against RNG, because those are the 2 teams that, honestly, I think have the 2 other best mid laners in the league. We look at Rookie, we look at Knight, we look at Xiaohu.
Yeah, I mean, the mid laners are cracked, right? And I was going to say, it'd be really interesting if it's top esports, right? A rematch, a grudge match where top esports reverse swept. RNG reverse swept JDG, and now with only 3 teams left in LPL playoffs, after you've all waited so long due to the delays, now we're just at a point where we've got 3 series left to go. We've got upper bracket, we've got lower bracket, and then we have the grand final. At this point, it's hard to kind of pick what's going to happen, because RNG, JDG, RNG, top esports, and V5 all look good within their respective games.
I mean, when you have both first of those top 4 series going to 5 games, I think it's so hard to predict. Like, I think it's easy for your mind to lean towards V5 because of their first place finish in regular season. But I mean, then again, we wouldn't have expected top esports to come back and reverse sweep them. So, yeah, I'm kind of on the same page as you. No idea who's going to win. I think there's no obvious like S-tier team right now. Every team's very close. That's how it is.
Well, either way, a 4-game series. We're sorry it's not 5, but we know that you enjoyed the banger it was.